guys, today I thought I would share with you the top 10 books that I definitely want to read in 2017. Now, I'm hoping to read a lot more than the 10 books I have on here. I want a better reading year than last year. I read 13 books last year, which was atrocious. I know I can do a whole lot better when it comes to reading. So I've set myself a goal of 30 books and I'm hoping to read a lot more. But like I said, in this video I'm going to show you the books I definitely want to read this year. The first one is My Lazy Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brodie Ashton and Jodie Meadows. First of all, can I just say, I hate this UK cover. I wish that I had the USA cover because it's so much better. This is bloody awful, but anyway. This is a sort of a take on Lady Jane Grey, who was queen for 9 days before she was beheaded. I've heard such good things about it. I've heard it's meant to be absolutely hilarious, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one. The next book that I want to read this year is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Aleixanes, however you say that. This is a story about two people who basically meet and form a special bond. And it's about their friendship. That's all I really know about this book. But as you can see, it's won a lot of awards. It's been on my TBR list. It was on my want list for such a long time. So I eventually got it, and I thought, you know, I really need to get round to it because it looks like it's going to be a cute contemporary novel. Next book that I want to read is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I read her debut novel Everything last year and absolutely loved it. I believe this is another cute contemporary novel. It's about a young girl called Natasha who is about to get deported with her family back to Jamaica, and she meets a boy called Daniel, and basically it's set over 24 hours, and he says to her apparently that he's going to make her fall in love with him in 24 hours. So when I'm in the mood for something cute, something contemporary, then this is the one I will go for. And I'll just throw that book on the bed. The next book that I want to read is by an author. I have quite a few of her books, but I've never ever read any of them, and I believe they're fantastic. And that is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I have a feeling this is her as an adult novel as opposed to a young adult novel. It's about two friends called Victor and Eli who start off as roommates, and something happens, and then we pick up the story like 10 years later where they're arch enemies. It's supposed to be a book about good and evil and how them lines cross, and everybody that reads it has such good reviews about it, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. Next book on my list is the second book in a series I started, I think it was about 2 years ago, and I just haven't got around to reading it, even though I have all of them except the last one, and that is Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in a Throne of Glass series. I think book 5 came out. Yeah, book 5 and 6 are out already, I think, 5 or 6. Empire Storms was the last one. And this book follows a girl called Selena who's training to be an assassin. I absolutely loved the first book. The only thing that I would say with Sarah J. Maas books, and it comes with in a second I'll show you another book of hers I want to read, is they do leave you with such a book hangover, because it's one of them, the writing is so intense, the world building is so intense, the characters are so intense, that they do, once you've read them, you are left in such a big book hangover. But I do really want to get to this book at least this year. Next book that I want to read in 2017 is another book, second book in another series, and that is The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. I read The Raven Boys late last year and absolutely loved it. I also listened to it on audio books, and I can't remember if it was Will Payton who was reading it. He's an American actor, and he was so good at reading it. It just kept me really enthralled in it. This story is about a young girl called Blue who comes from a family of psychics, and she's told that if she kisses her true love, he will die. And she meets a group of boys called the Raven Boys, which is no secret, a true love is in the Raven Boys. It's a magical realism book. They are looking for a dead king. It's got ley lines in, and I just really enjoyed it. So I'm definitely going to listen to the audiobook of this as well as reading it. Next book that I want to read is another sequel, and that is, I think this is going to be a trilogy, and that is Gemina by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I read Illuminae last year. It took me ages to buy it because I thought I would hate it, but it ended up being in my top 5. I put it at number 2 of books that I loved in 2016. Illuminae is basically about 2 people who are on different fleets. Basically, the planet's been destroyed, and they have to go on different fleets, and there's a plague happening, and also the AI, the artificial intelligence, basically just totally fucks up and is totally evil. I want to destroy them. So that's what that's about. It's told in instant messaging and surveillance footage and emails and video surveillance, things like that. And it was just fantastic. This book, I believe, follows 2 other different characters. Again, it is told in the likes of emails and instant messages and different footage. So unique, such a good book, and I can't wait to get to this. Next book that I want to read, I've actually got about halfway through it already, but for some reason I just stopped reading it, and it's going back to what I said before about Sarah J Maas, and it is Court of Mist and Fury. Like I said, just like halfway through it. I was loving this book. I really, really was. But like I said, they just leave you in such a reading slump, a reading hangover, and I got to the stage where I just really wasn't in the mood and I wasn't feeling it. So I stopped this book because I really want to enjoy it, because the reviews of this book are fantastic, and so far, yeah, I'm loving this book. I love it more than the first book, A Course of Thorns and Roses. I think that Sarah J Maas is such a good author when it comes to fantasy. I think she's such a good author when it comes to something that's a bit more steamy as well, because there are very saucy bits in this book. I believe the last book, well, I think it's the third book, the last book is A Course of Wings and Ruin, and that's coming out in May, so I do want to read that before the third book comes out. Next book that I want to read is another book by V.E. Schwab, and this is one of her young adult books, and it is This Savage Song. I believe this book is about a young girl called Kate, who is a human, and a monster called August. And it's about their friendship. There's no romance in this book whatsoever, which is absolutely fantastic, because, you know, a lot of young adult fantasy novels go into like a boy and a girl can't be just friends, something has to happen. But this book, there is no romance whatsoever. It's entirely based on friendship. August is a monster, and I believe what happens is monsters are created by the crime that people have committed. So it will be, one of them will be, assault will create one kind of monster, a murder will create another, and then mass murder will create the top monster. And I believe August was created from a mass murder. That's what I've heard anyway. But I am super excited to get to this book because I believe it is really good. And the last book that I want to get to in 2017 is a book that I've had on my shelf for quite a while. That, guys, the video cut off. But the next book I want to read is The Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I've heard such good things about this book. Like I said, I believe the second one's even better, The Crooked Kingdom, which I do have. This is a book about a heist. And that is all I know about it. It's about 6 people in a heist. And yes, I want to really get to this book this year. So they're the books I'm really hoping to definitely read this year, guys. As usual, I shall love you and leave you, and I shall see you all soon. Bye.